Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome back to the Art House. So, had a great day yesterday. It was a really big, exciting, fun day. I went to a local game store, Curio Cavern, and before that, I went to Athena Custom Framing. It's been a long time coming. I finally got back the Avatar of Air original painting. So, if you guys don't know, I did top pledge the Kickstarter for Sorcery Contested Realm, and I ended up getting. What happened was there were four top pledge tiers, right? And then the company allowed you to pick one of the four elemental avatars in the order in which you pledged. So all four of these pledges were picked up very quickly, like instantly. And then, as it turns out, Kickstarter is a non-committal endeavor. Basically, you can drop your pledge anytime between the start and the end of the pledge window. And there were a few of the collector tiers that were dropped, which was the second highest tier. And then I think just once or twice, maybe just once, the top Avatar of the Realm pledge tier was dropped, and I was able to jump on it immediately. So I was super lucky, but I was fourth in order, because there was only one drop. The other three had selected theirs first, and I ended up getting the Avatar of Fire, which is beautiful artwork by Severin Pinot, the same artist that did the Avatar of Air here, of course, all four elemental avatars. But I always had my heart set on the Avatar of Air. And 2 years later, I was able to offer the Avatar of Air through consignment, and I worked out a deal in which I actually ended up selling my Avatar of Fire. And in the course of that transaction, ended up acquiring the Air, the one that I always was most fond of, and it's taken a long time to get it framed, and it's finally home. So what I thought I'd do is, my framer is right across from a local game store. So I took over the Avatar of Air, the Ring of Morrigan, and the Kythera Mechanism original paintings. I told the owner, hey, I'm going to stop by. I'm going to bring in some special stuff. He was telling me he was going to have a Learn to Play event for locals in his community and just regulars at his store. And I was like, well, I'll pop in and I'll bring some grails of the game, something really exciting and memorable, and hopefully it'll make an impact and kind of spark some excitement in your store. So we did that, and brought that in there. He didn't know what it was going to be. He actually picked up one of the Atlas Thorn altar cards that he'd offer. The Angel's Egg is what it was. Beautiful artwork by Atlas Thorn. So I brought that to him. I brought in the paintings. I brought in my uncut foil sheets and bunch of artist proofs and altars and all types of things, and it's really a lot of fun. There was, I think when I showed up, he was teaching one person the game. There was a couple other onlookers. Most people were there playing. It was really full, really busy. I was hoping to interview him, so I wanted to do a couple things here and talk about some of the feedback he gave me, which I think is valuable and important and interesting insight. But yeah, there was a couple folks there. Most were playing Star Wars and the miniatures game, Warhammer, I guess it is. And I don't know, maybe some Magic and stuff on the side. And only a couple at the Learn to Play. And then a couple guys came over. They saw like I had consumed like a whole table with these massive paintings. This very large painting. It's hard to tell the scale. But the Kythera Mechanism was even larger the way I framed it. And the Ring of Morrigan is comparable. So big, long table took up a large space, and I was waiting for him to finish up his game, and they were just kind of laying there on the table, and I was showing a few folks the foil uncut sheets and talking to them about all the different artists of the game and the dynamics of the multi-dimensional gameplay with the different elements and different effects and synergies and the grid-based concept. And they were like, oh, it's cool, like I never heard of this game. Like, wow, the art is great. Like, yeah, I do recognize some of those artists, but some of these other ones are great. And then after I left the store, one of the employees text messages me, and he was like, hey, Mike, after you left, like a few guys stopped their Star Wars game and jumped over to the Learn to Play. There's a lot of excitement for the game. So it was a really great, fun success. It's always fun getting out in person and meeting people. We're really excited about the Sorcery Spring Social coming up in less than 2 weeks now. I'll be at the IX Art Show next weekend, and then Vegas the next Friday I'll be there till Monday. So that's going to be huge. We have 13 artists in attendance, which is just absolutely massive. For a game that was like born yesterday. It's a very new game. A lot of people haven't even heard of it yet, and we were able to make a compelling enough value proposition and exciting enough experience for 12 sorcery artists to commit to coming, and the great altarist Dustin Brossard, who painted the prize piece for our main event. So a lot of excitement, a lot of fun. What I'll do here is I'm going to go to the overhead cam and do a few things. This is a beautiful Philosopher's Stone playmat, of course, by the great Severin Pinot. And she did 50 of these. She sold half of them at the Spielesson event, and then the other half we sold through my Collector Art House Patreon. You could check that out in the Linktree links on all of my videos. And we're working on a few other design concepts that I'm very excited about. That's going to be a lot of fun. And I think those will be offered more broadly. You know, I usually do priority through the Patreon, but I want to make sure everyone has a chance at those. So there are going to be other artworks from Sorcery and a few other kind of custom altar designs, I guess I'll call it in a way. So that is in the works. He's doing a design. I got to get those printed, and that's going to be tremendous. But what I thought I'd do is I picked up this little guy, right? So this is a game, Camelot Legends, and this has relevance to Sorcery. You know, we've opened Guardians CCG on the channel and some other games. This is a board game concept in Arthurian theme called Camelot Legends, and you see it was made in China, Z-Man Games, 2004. And look, King Arthur box cover image, Ed Baird Jr. So you got Ed Baird Jr. did this amazing king painting. And of course, you know, Ed does all hand-painted traditional, as do all of the sorcery artists for the game of Sorcery. And Ed is going to be making an appearance at the... Did I say Sorcery Spring Social earlier? Sorcery Con, Las Vegas, 2024, November 1st, 2nd, and 3rd at the Park MGM in Vegas. So I am one of the members of the planning committee for that event. I'm handling all of the artist aspects, liaisoning with all the artists and trying to get as many to come as we can. Again, 13 artists. Super excited about that. Ed is going to be there for another show, an automobile show, for the artwork he does. He does a lot of amazing airbrushing on cars. He has the Dragon Lord van, and he's going to be stopping over Saturday night for signatures, and you know, they'll be doing signings, and I think he's going to bring some prints and stuff, the Dragon Lord, some of the Dragon Lord type prints. And I picked up this game because I noticed the art was exceptional, and several of the artists from Sorcery Contested Realm did artwork for this game. And there are some ties and parallels. This is interesting. Great rule book that actually reminds me a lot of the Sorcery rule book with the images, the striking images. The card formats on these are very cool too. And this is the one we're going to talk about here. Look at this. This is why I bought it, really. That is the Quinton Hoover card from Arthurian Legends, right? And that card is in this box. This artwork was used for this game. So I discovered that and I was like, hey, I got to pick that up and check it out and take a look. The card looks really cool. I kind of like having these the alternate use cases for some of the cards of Sorcery that were also used for other games in this 90s, early 2000s era. So here you have Camelot. I'm not sure how this game is played, but the artwork is incredible. Here you go, Ed Baird Jr. Wow. Yeah, Ed is incredible. His Dragon Lord lair is amazing. Got Paul Herbert and another from Ed Baird Jr. Amazing. So it looks like he was a heavy influence in this game. All right, great. So we got... Okay, those are all the same. And then we got these couple decks of cards. All right, so while I'm doing that, I wanted to talk about the LGS experience. So I went down, I talked to the Ed Baird Jr. White Knight. I talked to the store owner, and this guy's doing an amazing business down in Springfield, Virginia. I think that was the first LGS location that he had, and he's expanded this into 3 Curio Cavern LGS locations. He's got one in the Springfield Mall, and he's got one in Centerville, and he's got one in Manassas Mall. So actually he's got 1, 2, 3, I think he's got 4 LGSs. And then he was telling me he has this other store in the Manassas Mall I think that one's in the Manassas Mall. It's this store space basically, and his concept is he has artists come in and they do paintings, like they paint in his store, and then he displays the pieces that people paint on the wall there, and you could purchase those paintings. It's really an amazing idea, and I was like, hey man, I got like somewhere in the neighborhood of like 15 to 20 original paintings from Sorcery. And maybe we could do an exhibit there and kind of collaborate a little bit. So we're spitballing some ideas, and maybe something will be coming to the local scene where we can do a special. Well, here you go. So we got Jeff Menges, Mark Poole. Of course, he's not in Sorcery. We got Ed Bear Jr. Let me try to zoom a little bit more. There we go. All right, so we got a bunch of pieces by Donato. So we're going to see him at IX next week. Man, these cards are really cool. The aesthetic of them are really nice. It's kind of a shame it's like a small box, you know. You kind of wish that they would be full art. There you go. You got Ed on the back. The Ed artwork. Donato again. Ed Beard Jr. Man, that's a detailed piece. Yeah, Ed does incredible quality and detail. I struggle to look at cards and talk at the same time. I get very distracted by the art. Jeff Menges again. You know, Jeff's done so many projects over the years. Heather Burden, you recognize her name from oh, there you go. The Green Knight. Wow, look at that. Melissa Benson. Very cool. Yeah, I knew she had some work in here. There's another from her. These were starting to come to light before the release of Arthurian Legends, and some people were confused and thought maybe some of these were for Arthurian Legends, or could be used in license, like this one as well. I remember it was going around the Discords. A Black Knight by Ed Beard Jr. Wow, that's epic. You kind of wonder if there could be like a very rare Chase Curio. That wasn't a thought I thought might could maybe happen when this came out. Lady of the Lake by Ed. There you go. All right, so there's French delegation. That was my primary purpose for buying this. Thought I'd check it out and kind of see how that art was used in two different games. Very cool. There we go. Let's do it like this. Maybe we'll use that for the cover. Go like that so I get a screenshot of it. Very nice. The great Quentin Hoover. Eric paid homage to him with this card is a standard card. And of course, one of the more iconic curios from the set, the great Wyvern or Wyvern. A lot of people say Wyvern. I've been saying Wyvern all this time, so that's what it is in my mind. But that is a beautiful artwork, a real great one. I know his son Justin Hoover had this just recently. I think he brought it to a show here in Chantilly. So he still owns that painting, which is really cool. It's really great that that's still in the family. And I don't know. I think Justin's going to come to Sorcery Con. I'm not sure that he plans. He's not going to have a table or anything, so I don't imagine he's going to bring the painting. But it'll be cool that he'll get to enjoy Sorcery Con and the great tribute that he's paying to. Eric and the team are paying to his father. So there's another deck box in there. So yeah, I was talking to the LGS owner, and he had expanded his store to these 4 locations, and we were talking about Sorcery. And he's really into Sorcery himself, and he said he really thinks the game is phenomenal. This guy's a great entrepreneur. I mean, he supports many games. He's a big advocate of TCGs. Again, they had Star Wars in there. He has a huge Magic following, he was telling me. And he said, like, there's been some, like, he's really into Sorcery himself. He's learned the game. He teaches people the game. He was having a Learn to Play event yesterday. And he was saying, like, there's interest in it whenever he exposes people to the project. But what he was telling me is that he was asking me if there's a contact at the company that he could talk to provide some feedback. And, I kind of told him, like, in Discords, the team's available, Simon and Chase. And, I could talk to them at Sorcery Con, but it was really interesting. One of my primary motivations to go there is I wanted to feature his store and spotlight it a bit, but also get some feedback on how the local scene is evolving and how I could support personally. And, maybe any feedback we can get to the company on how they can get the word out. So he was saying that one of the struggles is he just doesn't know really what's going on with the game. The store owners are often very busy. So they're not in the Discords all the time, getting information. They're not on Facebook and social media. He's actually in my Facebook community group, the store owner, but I'm not sure that he's on Discord at all or spends a lot of time really on Facebook or Discord. So he said like he wasn't really sure when the next set was coming out and what's going on with the mini set and really the store kit and any kind of store support or tournament scene. And, so I was filling him in on how a lot of the event scene is really community based, like Sorcery Con and the Sorcery Spring Social and March of the Mortals and these larger community coordinated and run events. And what he was saying is that prize support is very helpful for the in-store experience. And he was saying maybe we can get some art prints put out by the company in the store kits or play mats and things like this, right? And I was telling him how the artists, the round table, how the artists really they own their copyrights, so they kind of control that. I think the company themselves has the right to use the artist's assets for marketing purposes, and that's how they do it for store kits, because the store kits aren't sold. They're kind of given to stores as a promotional item, and promos, exclusive promos that they use with Team Covenant and with Rudy and things like that. So but I'm doing play mats with artists. I work with a lot of the artists, so I'm going to try to help them out and get them some play mats and maybe some prints and things to support the local scene. But that was an interesting piece of feedback, getting store support. He wants to incentivize people to come in and learn the game, to come in regularly. It seemed like he didn't really know a lot about how Cardi.io is structured and how you really how you incentivize players to play, how the company envisions leveraging the LGS and how they intend to support the LGS and promote growth, and how they want the stores to represent the game and really sell it to their community. So it's kind of, I think some of that's by design. They want to allow the LGS network to kind of pave their own path, tell their own story, as they say, and the players as well. But I thought that was kind of interesting, just kind of like the communication channels. How do you reach those LGSs that are not on social media to really get the updates and kind of see what's going on? He's juggling a lot of games, 4 stores. He's an extremely busy guy. He's got multiple businesses. But he's a huge advocate. He was in there playing for hours with people, and I had to wait an hour just to talk to him after I walked in the store, because he was in the middle of like a learn to play. And it takes a while, like your first game, with all the questions and allowing your opponent, the guy that's learning, to think through like the different play angles, strategically and stuff like that. It was a great experience. He thinks the game has huge potential. I told him it's, they're not really leaning into competitive play and, hosting their own events just yet. I don't know if they have ambitions to do so or not, or if they just want to leave that to the community. But one thing I will say is I really noticed that the appearances at Gen Con and Spiel really moved the needle in terms of reaching new people that are interested in the game. When they see the product, they really fall in love with it. They really resonate with it. And I could see that tangibly in the growth of the Sorcery Community Group. We just hit an amazing milestone of 4,500 people. And, in my Discord, we're closing in on 1,500 people. So thousands of people. There was definitely a spike at release of Arthurian Legends, and also with, as I say, the company appearances at these events. When you come to like a Sorcery Con or a Sorcery Spring Social, that really nurtures the existing player base, the existing scene, the existing collectors. But when the company makes an appearance at a larger con that has many games, you reach people and you get crossover from Magic, from Flesh and Blood, from, all the other games that are out there, or people just interested in art and things like that. They get exposed to this product, and you really see them coming in droves into these social groups. Real nice spike. Even YouTube subscriptions and views are on the rise. So there's a lot of excitement around the game. Tom, the store owner, thinks it's an exceptional game and has massive potential on a casual or competitive level. People are really resonating with it and enjoying it. So it was all very positive, great feedback. Just needs a little more with the comms and understanding of the roadmap and direction of the game, and if there's any support coming to help stores really lean in and encourage people to keep coming out, keep playing, encourage stores to pick up the game. that kind of thing. But it was a great visit. People are really excited about the original paintings, about the uncut sheets, seeing the art, seeing the cards. I brought a binder full of cards and things, and they were selling singles in the store. So, people seeing it for the first time were like, wow, just like Eric has always talked about, the organic word of mouth. You see it and you just want to start asking questions, right? You see it on the shelf, the beautiful box of the Arthurian Legends design, the original art, and then you see people playing it and you just want to jump on board. So, several got to learn to play experience. I'd love to make it out to more stores. I'm really excited about everybody coming out to SorceryCon. And when you see me there, please stop by and say hello. And thanks for your interest. Please like and subscribe to the channel, and we'll catch you next time. See ya.